Beneath the veiled night sky, where the stars whisper ancient secrets, lies a path tread by the kindred spirits of resilience and wisdom. Stoicism, a staunch philosophy birthed in the agoras of old, offers a tantalizing promise. The promise of thinking clearly, even when the world around us seems cloaked in shadows. 6 timeless lessons echo through the corridors of time, lessons imparted by the Stoic spectre of Marcus Aurelius himself, guiding us toward the light of inner clarity. 1. Vision unclouded by illusion. In the boundless theater of life's grand narrative, where truth and deceit perform their eternal dance, the Stoic emerges as the enlightened spectator. Aurelius's notes resonate as a guide. To see things as they are, stripped bare of our desires and fears, is to stand at the edge of wisdom's precipice. One must embark on a relentless quest for authenticity, peering through the veils of perception that distort the essence of reality. Each belief, each assumption must be held to the unforgiving light of scrutiny. One is reminded of the counsel of the ancients. Do not be swept away by the potent currents of widespread belief. Instead, anchor yourself in the harbor of evidence and reason. A true understanding of this principle requires studying the intricacies of logical fallacies, cognitive biases, and the mire of psychological misconceptions that cloud judgment. We delve into the works of Seneca, whose dialogues challenge the reader to see the self as a perpetual student of life, always willing to unlearn in the pursuit of truth. This lesson is also echoed by contemporary thinkers like Derren Brown, whose book Happy delves into how the Stoics' approach can equip us to see through society's modern-day illusions. The philosophical process becomes one not of accepting dogma, but of dismantling and reconstructing belief systems. The Stoic dedicates pages upon pages in their journal, dissecting experiences and thoughts, ever watchful for the shadows that signal the presence of illusion. It becomes a lifelong discipline, a constant recalibration of one's compass to the true north of reality. Within the solitude of contemplation, one ponders the tapestry of existence, distinguishing the threads of real from the embroidery of falsehood. It is here, on the quiet battleground of the mind, where the initial principle blooms into full maturity, becoming the bedrock for a life lived in verity. 2. Sovereignty over the self. Sovereignty over the self, a Stoic's crowning glory, is the fortress from which all other virtues defend. Epictetus, with the candor of one who has survived the brutality of enslavement, defiantly proclaims, "Freedom is the right to live as we wish. No man is free who is not master of himself." The Stoics teach us to erect walls not around our cities, but around our souls, crafting from the bedrock of discipline a citadel impervious to external chaos. The reigning monarch within this domain is none other than reason itself, guiding us with a philosopher's stern yet compassionate hand. Through practicing exercises such as the dichotomy of control, we separate the world into what we can influence and what lies beyond our grasp, then invest our energies only in the former. Here, the echoes of modern cognitive behavioral therapy resound, inspired by the Stoics' ancient wisdom. We document our progress with the precision of scholars, charting each victory over temptation, each demonstration of restraint. Ruminating on the lectures of Musonius Rufus, we learn the value of a simple life that places virtue above indulgence. We embrace practices such as voluntary discomfort, tempering our will against the inevitable adversities life presents. It is in moments of choice that sovereignty reveals its true face. Each decision we make is a silent testament to our autonomy, and thus, day by day, choice by choice, we mold ourselves into the sovereign rulers of our internal domain. 3. React not to the storm, but to the calm within. The Stoic bears witness to life as tempests, with the stoicism of a mountain in the face of howling winds. The philosophy teaches that one's internal state is like the depths of the ocean, remaining still even when the surface rages with turmoil. Aurelius, ever the embodiment of this principle, counsels, "Be like the promontory against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." To embody this maxim is to engage in the relentless observation of one's reactions. It demands that we retreat into the sanctum of introspection, examining each emotional response as it arises, tracing its lineage to the fundamental beliefs that give it life. A Stoic absorbs the teachings of Chrysippus, discerning the lessons offered by logic and passion, honoring them both yet yielding to neither. We entertain thoughts as we would guests at a banquet, selectively with discernment, understanding their nature before granting them entry. In the seminal works of Marcus Aurelius, he exhorts the reader to distinguish between the event itself and the story we tell ourselves about that event. Researchers like Donald Robertson bring this notion to the current age, highlighting the fusion of Stoicism with psychological resilience training. Practiced day in and day out, the Stoic's reaction becomes not a knee-jerk impulse, but a considered response. The building of internal narratives is approached with the care of a watchmaker, piecing together the cogs of perception, judgment, and choice, until the mechanism of reaction is a masterclass in precision and intentionality. 4. The futility of desire, the power of detachment. In a universe driven by the ceaseless engines of desire and aversion, Stoicism presents the ultimate liberation, a release from the cycle of want. Seneca, in his moral letters, warns of the perils blooming from seeds of desire. Slavery resides under marble and gold. The lesson is profound and paradoxical. By embracing detachment, we do not spurn the world, but assert our freedom from it. The Stoic learns that true wealth lies not in abundance but in need, a philosophy chronicled not only in ancient texts, but also in the modern musings of philosophers like Alain de Botton. Our journey involves the meticulous cultivation of indifference, the discipline of meeting losses with a level gaze, and greeting gains with a nonchalant nod. Each day is an exercise in relinquishing the superfluous, stripping away the excess, until all that remains is necessity illuminated by wisdom. What may first appear as austerity blossoms into contentment, a realization that echoes through the writings of the Stoic slave-turned-teacher Epictetus. His discourse on the strength found in self-sufficiency reverberates with newfound relevance in a culture intoxicated by consumption. The practice is relentless, the discipline severe, yet the fruits of detachment are sweet. To live free from desire is to untether oneself from the whims of fate and stand, grounded in the bedrock of a life unswayed by the external. 5. Silence as the oracle of insight. The discourse of silence, Aurelius tells us, is the crucible in which insight is forged. Speak not unless it improves upon the silence. This principle of Stoicism is not an admonishment of speech, but a recognition of the transformative power of thoughtful reflection. Just as the night sky reveals its secrets only when the tumult of daylight fades, so too does the mind disclose its depths in the quietude of withheld words. To align with this teaching, one must adopt the discipline of the reflective mind, embracing solitude as the mentor to the soul. The Stoics engage in the practice of journaling, an inward dialogue where insights are wrested from the cacophony of incessant thought. As Arriana's transcriptions of Epictetus's discourses suggest the words we choose to impart unto the world should be darts of truth, deliberately aimed and released with intention. It is in the sparsity of words that their value is amplified, much like the scarcity of rain in a desert. The path to insight requires the descent into the inner self, a pilgrimage to the temple within, where one can commune with the oracles of reason, virtue, and wisdom. The modern Stoic finds fellows in contemplatives from monastic traditions, where silence is honored as the language of the divine. Each moment of reticence is a fortress of contemplation, shielding the Stoic from the urge to fill the void with noise. And through this, wisdom ascends from the wellspring of silent introspection, offering itself as the compass by which we may navigate the complex tapestries of existence. 6. Mastery of oneself is the greatest conquest. Aurelius spoke of an internal campaign more formidable than any external conquest. To overcome oneself is the noblest of victories. The Stoic philosophy champions the battle within as the ultimate proving ground of virtue. Here, amidst the ceaseless clash of self-discipline against desire, emerges a warrior tempered by the fires of their internal forge. Achieving this mastery demands an education in the self. With the guidance of the Stoics, one embarks upon a regimen of self-scrutiny. Stoic exercises such as premeditatio malorum, anticipating challenges before they arrive, equip use for the conflicts ahead. As the Stoic surveys the battlefield of the soul, each weakness identified becomes a strategic point to strengthen. By examining the works of philosophers like Heracles, we become familiar with the concentric circles of concern, learning to draw our attention inward towards that which lies within our dominion. Under the tutelage of Aurelius's meditations, the focus sharpens on personal accountability. The Stoic's journal becomes a ledger of actions and attitudes, a tool for measuring the distance traveled and the roads yet to be crossed. In the vein of Hadrian's Wall, the construction of one's inner fortress is a task of tireless effort and boundless commitment. Yet steadfast in the resolve that the greatest dominion is dominion over self, the contemporary Stoic paves their path, disciplined, devoted, and unyielding in the quest for self-mastery. Each page carved out of the ancient stone of Stoic philosophy stands as a testament to the art of living. As the ink dries and the final page turns, the readers are left not at the end of a treatise, but at the beginning of a transformation. For in the contemplation of these Stoic lessons, one discovers not only the art of thinking clearly, but the very essence of living it.